All right. My hair's pretty big, isn't it? Wow. How's everybody doing? I've been like zipping around the house trying to gather all of the necessary reagents for this project. And I realize I'm a little out of focus too, so I'm gonna fix that. Yeah, so this one is gonna be a first time for me. I have not used this kind of rubber cement before. And so I wanted to make sure I had all the stuff that I needed prior to starting. Okay. I also just scarfed down some delicious ramen that I made, so give me the eye sweats. So I'm feeling good. So thank you for joining. Today we are going to be working on these boots. I apologize, my camera stuff will go away soon. Working on these boots. These are my wife's boots, and they have developed a bit of an opening here. Yeah, I know, it'll go away in a second. Technology! Yeah, I just had to change focus, so I'm fixing up the tips of these boots. I'll kind of zoom in on these in a minute, show you how those are. So we're going to be using this Barge all-purpose rubber cement, and this is like as industrial as I could buy. So we're going to be using this sparingly and wearing gloves and masking things off and doing a good job of that. So, but before I do anything, we are going to place my X-Acto knife blade, because that is, or my utility knife blade, because it is dull. So this is the knife that I carry with me all the time. This is a Gerber EAB, and I really like this one because I can abuse the hell out of it, and I can just replace the blade once it's dull. So I've gone far too long before replacing a blade. It's been like probably 3 weeks now, and I usually try and do it once a week because I do pretty regularly abuse this thing. So I'm going to use the back corner of this new blade to unscrew the little standard screw bit. Unscrew that. These will work as an impromptu screwdriver, but make sure you don't have to put a lot of pressure on it, because if you slip, it's terrible. You don't want to do that. Probably going to need this tonight, so I wanted to make sure that this was sharp. How's it going, V.E. Kruger? How's your day? Also saw that Wilder mentioned he's going to be lurking, which is totally cool. Hope you had an awesome day as well. I have a little sharps container for this one that I'll throw it in afterwards. Put this to the side for now. I also have, these are my thread snippers. I have sharpened these. I have not put them through the fancy sharpener, but I do sharpen these with some regularity because I do a decent amount of sewing. So I'll use those today possibly. And then these are some, they're VTech stainless, like medical pinchers, and I use these a lot in my sewing setup because they're really good at grabbing threads. It's meant for, like doing stitches and stuff for people, so it does a remarkable job at grabbing loose threads and things. So this is usually what I use to grab the uptake on my bobbin. And I might be doing a little bit of hand sewing today, depending on the severity of this issue with these boots. So I wanted to have some sewing stuff handy. which is also why I have this big bolt of thread. This thread is T135, which is a lot of sewing threads are measured in I kid you not, Texas units. This is Texas 135, and it is quite thick. So this is actually too thick to run in my current sewing machine that I have, which is a semi-industrial machine. I know, Texas units, it's hilarious. So it's actually too big for me to really use, so I have like the largest amount of it. I can't even use it yet, so this is why probably next year sometime I might get another sewing machine. Not that I need any more, because I think I have like 5 right now, so I'm going to try and downsize some of the ones I'm not using and get one that can handle larger thread. What else? Here are the needles I have in case we need them. So, this is a big sail needle. This is like way too thick for what we're going to do. It's these 4 that we might be using. So this is a hooked needle. This is good for some things, but it really doesn't withstand a lot of force. So it's okay for doing some kind of work, like, you know, giving someone stitches is good for that, and some other scenarios, but what we're going to be after today are these 4 here. And these are all 4 the same. Actually, these 3 are the same. This one is another sail needle. I didn't quite catch that right, but let's see if we can look at these a little closer. Oh, come on, microscope. You can do it, buddy. Let's try that again. I was just tired. Okay. So, I might as well show these again. Oh, this is the sail needle, so this is a little bit different than what I'm going to be using, possibly. You see it's like a triangular kind of thing. And this could be more of an awl. Awl is an AWL. But the issue with this is that it doesn't have a very large eye. My finger is very dirty, but it doesn't have a very large eye to it, so it wouldn't work very well for what we might be doing, which is saddle stitching. So this is the tip of the saddle stitch needle, and to compare, I'll show you the hooked needle and how sharp that looks. So the saddle stitch needle is significantly more dull than the curve needle. This is the curve needle over here. This is the saddle stitch needle. But if we look at the eye of these, the eye for the saddle stitch needle is like massive, super big. And that has to do with like how we're going to thread it, and also the forces that this thing is under. It needs to be a lot thicker on these side walls of this eye. So I'm not convinced we're actually going to do any saddle stitching, but figured I would show you that stuff anyway. And while we have the microscope out, here is that grabber that I was talking about earlier. So this is a really cool design because it's actually like a pair of interlocking like vice hands, right? So if I take these out, you can kind of look down the tip of it and get this in focus, right? Come on, brain. There we go. This is really hard to think about. Okay. So we can see the tips of these jaws of this thing. There's a lot of hair there. That's kind of gross. But you can see they like interlock with no extra space, so they can grab stuff just like super hard, which is really cool. So, right. So that's kind of the show and tell. I also have these clamps. These are just some little pinchy clamps, but I really like them a lot. I think I bought them in like a pack of 50. And not only are these excellent for any kind of leatherworking where you're gluing stuff together, but there's no better chit clip around. These are awesome. So I bought 50 of them, and then lost half of them to our kitchen, and like all of our bags of vegetables and stuff are held with these two, and they're pretty cheap. They're like 40 cents a piece or something. I just put them on here so that I can transport them from my actual studio. So, this has been very motivating doing this particular task today, because I think that I really want to, in the nearish future, probably in the next month, is set up some cameras in my actual studio. So this is just my video studio where I do a lot of instructional stuff, but I have an actual like craft and sewing room that I do most of this stuff in, that is much more well set up for doing these kinds of tasks. So I'm going to try to move up there, possibly, because I think we'll be able to do some cooler stuff like sewing and those kinds of things. So also, there's no smoke detector in that room. Probably there should be, but a lot of what I end up doing makes smoke, so either melting threads or what have you. So down here it might actually go off because we kind of need a smoke detector by our furnace. So let's take a look here. All right, let's see how this microscope does with this task. All right, so here is the, I guess I'll show you the overhead cam first. So here's the boots, right? This is the boots. These are the boots that we're going to be repairing, and this is the issue. So we're going to take a closer look here and see how far down this goes. This isn't helpful at all. So this is just going to make me realize how dirty it is on these boots. Looking in through here. One thing I have noticed is that the stitching is shot. So like through here, like these are the stitches on this side. I'll show you this thing. These are the stitches on this side up here, and I'm not seeing them go through here, which tells me that they have been fully torn. So I'll need to do some fixing of that, and that's where the thread probably comes into play. Is having to do some stitching there. First step, though, is to take out these laces. Let's get rid of these laces. They're great boots. I'm really bummed out are degrading on the toe like that, you know, and that can happen, you know, depending on how, like I always bust out the back heel on my boots because of the way I walk. So it really depends on the way you walk and like how you treat your boots. That can change some of these injuries that your boot is experiencing. Got the tool here, might as well use it. Boy, I'm not getting a great frame rate from that camera, the overhead camera tonight. In there. Just inspecting for any other damage. Does look like, yeah, these actually could have some issues sooner than later. Get rid of these for now. Soles. So inside of the boot we have a problem. So I don't know if we can see this okay. Actually, it's too bright. But back here we're starting to get some breakdown of the heel area. Right there. That is a bugger to repair. Very difficult to do. So This might be the death of these boots, honestly. Not right now, but next year, year after that, this could turn into a much larger problem. Because from here it starts to split and give you other kinds of grief, so that's a bummer. And that, again, is like has something to do with like how you walk and how you step in your boots and those kinds of things. So, let's see here. Anything else worth noting? Here's something worth noting. And this is a sign of a good boot, I think. There's like a big chunk of metal in the bottom of that boot. Let's do this. Big chunk of metal in that boot. And that's pinning down this back heel. So that's connecting the sole of the boot to that heel. So that's cool. I always like when things are held together with not adhesive. So that's a good sign. And these liners are Gore-Tex. That's good. Kind of feeling around for any issues. Oh, that's where I left my big chunk of metal, yeah. That's why you're setting off metal detectors. Your boots. Okay, so for this liner, I don't know what to do about this right now. I mean, I could see maybe gluing some other kind of more abrasion-resistant fabric there. Probably with the same stuff, with this like industrial glue stuff. Some rocks in this boot. There. And what I'm gonna do is I don't have any popsicle sticks or anything like that. I think all my glue popsicle sticks are outside. So I'm just going to this tape, and I don't know if this tape is going to stick at all, but I'm actually going to just put it across and then I'll just cut an opening. So putting some painter's tape on here, some painter's tape, and then I'm going to cut this opening so that we can apply the glue inside. No, that's not a good idea. Waste a little bit of painter's tape, that's okay. Right. Onto the next piece of tape. Okay, so we've left a slit right there to allow us to add the glue. Brush in can. Alright. Let's see what this stuff is like. Oh, that is strong. Okay, let's see here. Should I even open this here? I might leave this lid on. So this says, I should have thought of this before, but I hadn't opened this up to smell it in a while. Highly flammable liquid and vapor. So it says, Eliminate all ignition sources. Separate from oxidizing materials. Keep container tightly closed and sealed until ready to use. Containers that have been opened must be carefully resealed and kept upright to prevent leakage. So, there's a furnace right behind the camera. So, and it's like 12 feet away, and I guess I could try and be quick about it, but it's a little concerning. I'm thinking that maybe it would be smarter to just do the snow seal stuff right now and then do this elsewhere. That's further away from an ignition source. That's what I think. And I think that's a good longevity choice for the day, is to not do that. So we're gonna go back because as these things are drying and stuff, like, it's gonna be off-gassing for a while, so I'm gonna wait on that for a little bit. It just doesn't work out in this particular space. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go get some paper towel and we're gonna do some snow sealing of these boots. I'm gonna wipe them down first, and then we will get some of that wax coating on them. Be right back. Paper towels are already over here. What the heck? So let's get moving on these. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see if I have any styles. This is my box of goodies. Box of boot goodies. Not opened this in a while. What's in here? Alright, so we have the baby can of Snow Seal. This is usually the size that you buy it in. It's like this versus the quart. We have some Meltonian shoe polish. This stuff is awesome. It appears that I have a black. What is this? It is totally dried up. Dang it. Junk. It's like, I use this for my friend. Friend Tony has a really cool gray leather coat. Here's the stuff for that. This stuff still got some moisture in it. That's cool. Great shoe polish. Just leather polish in general. It's very conditioning. It's like, it's not like the Kiwi stuff. I think the Kiwi stuff is alright, but it's usually more of a wax. This stuff is more of a cream. And usually this stuff has a lot more color to it. So, which is where you get stuff like this. This is Cordovan. This is the kind of reddish brown color you might see with some dress shoes. Wetproof. This is a competitor, this Wetproof stuff, to this Snow Seal, but this has some paraffins in it that and some drying oils that tend to do the boot some harm. So I don't like to use this much at all. Just have it still. Then I have some Parade Gloss. This is tan shoe polish and brown shoe polish. I don't have any dang saddle soap. It's a bummer. Saddle soap is what you're cleaning other stuff with usually.
The pants we're going to wear tomorrow. And the next day.
Oh no, what have I
The day
done?
after that.
Put this back in place. it'll be fine because this just sets right there. So no saddle soap, that's okay.
And the day after that.
Gun rig. Last time.
I guess we all have future pants. They're pants we're going to wear tomorrow. And the next day. And the day after that.
Where do you get plugged in? Man. Oh, this discombobulated. So we don't blow a fuse.
And the day after that.
Snow seating. I'm gonna preheat these boots a little bit. A little warmed up, so they accept the snow seal a little better. Now, one thing I'm gonna have to watch out for is there's some wool on the sides, so I want to make sure not to get that too full of snow seal. Here. Again, we're going for seams. Try and get all these little seams everywhere, because that's where this is going to really have a hard time. Make sure to really get leather in that spot so that it soaks down into those cracks. And what we're hoping to do is that this will waterproof them really well just by going in and stopping those things from having little openings in them. These boots are kind of dirty, and you know, if I was really taking my time about this, I might spend a few minutes cleaning them off first. But you know what? It's probably okay. Just by doing this, I'm like wiping off some of the dirt. So once again, once it starts to get really snowy and salty out, you probably want to have a spray bottle of some vinegar water just by your door. you have leather shoes, and you have salt on your shoes, which you inevitably will have salt on your shoes. Give it a spray down and a wipe when you get back, and that'll get the salt off the boots in a good way and help them live a little bit longer. Maybe try and get under this, into these like speed lace things here, so we can get them the snow seal into the rivets really well. Wrap it in there. And like right here, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like looking a little crackled there, like it's just been too dry. So the snow seal will really help with the dryness as well. Really restore this to be a little bit more supple. Now I'm being really careful not to get this too close to the heat gun, as being too close to the heat gun could melt the nylon laces. There's a nylon thread used for the boots, which would very much compromise the boots. So I want to take care not to get too close or get those get too hot. This rag is just like filthy. I could be wiping off some boot polish too. Might be why it's so dark. Hard to tell. I can't remember if it polishes or not. There's a decent chance I did. The boots I did last time are feeling a lot more broken in since I did the snow sealing. Doing this will speed up your break-in process on your new boots if you do it. Make it so they conform to your feet a little bit faster. Just because it makes them just a little more supple. Not so dry from manufacturing. Again, in this tongue area, I'd be suspicious to find some more synthetic materials, so I'm kind of watching and seeing how the absorption goes. As I do this, I'm making sure to really spread this around, so that any areas that are starting to dry out faster than others get new snow seal on them, so that nothing gets too dry as it tries to soak into some of the other areas. Just basically, like, you don't want to like have your heat gun on a spot without snow seal on it for too long. I think this paper towel is only going to last one run. One pass. number 2. Again, this coat goes on a lot better because the boot is already hot. So any area that looks kind of dry and cracked, you want to make sure that there's a bunch there so this soaks in a little bit better. I think I'm going to bring in my other boot care supplies from the garage next week. Let's see, this hand is clean enough to touch the microscope. So let's see how this looks. So here's an area of clean leather. This leather is in pretty good shape here from the naked eye. But as I go over here, you see it looks a lot more like kind of cracked and deserty. That's a lot of where some of the problems are that we're going to be trying to fill those cracks in, versus like here the cracks are much fewer and further between. Right here there's a lot deeper cracks, and those will eventually form into some major issues for these boots. I'm trying to see if there's anything else we want to inspect. Rub more snow seal into those spots and really, do a couple of times. I'm also going to try and at this pass get as much into these cracks along this welt here. Get it up in there. This will all melt in pretty well, but I want to make sure to get it in these cracks, because this is where, when you step in a puddle, where it's going to go in to your boot and your foot. You never really want to discourage any walking in puddles, so you just got to have waterproof boots then. That's the key. Seeing another breakdown spot right here. It's another repair that I'll have to do. And you know what? I'm looking at this. This is actual compressed leather here, which is good. Good thing. What's cork? Either way, I think it's compressed leather. Either way, it's going to get some snow seal on it, because that should help it resist the elements a little bit more. So, like on my new boots, this is just synthetic back here. But it appears that this is actually a natural material, so we're going to want to get this on here. Pretty well done up. So it's 6:56. I think that my friend Timbeep is probably streaming at 7. I believe she is streaming some aquarium times, which are super fun and educational. If you're interested in learning about fish or sea creatures, aquatic wildlife, that's a good stream for it. Good and nerdy. I'm going to keep this a little bit more vertical this time. Nice and vertical. Get this to really melt in and go down those cracks along the very edge seam of the boot. Area that dried out earlier, I'm going to put some more on there. As it dries out, just make sure I don't get too little wax and too much heat there. Really wanting to encourage it to go down between those threads. I'm really hoping that this does not interfere with my gluing process that's going to go on a little bit later off camera. Yeah, I really do love seeing shiny. Even if it is just like a molten wax making it shiny at the time. Oh, there it goes. Gotta switch paper towels quick. I wasn't all that quick about it. This one is just like completely soaked in it, so it's like giving me grief by leaving a lot of little paper towel crumbles on it. Maybe I'm actually getting a little warm. Move those other there, the other there. V. Kruger, how are your new Baffins? Have you worn them much yet? I suppose it's been like summer all since you got them. I think there must be some polish on here. Tried them once is all. Do you have concerns about them? Or are you just waiting simply till you can walk around in the cold a little more? Hey, good call. Gonna try them in treacherous ice, which we should have plenty of soon enough. Maybe I should say we will have an adequate amount soon enough. Yeah, that's right. They are quite overkill for anything other than like super cold, super icy. Yeah. Can you covet your own things? I didn't know that. I guess I'm not as familiar with the term covet as I thought. I thought you only do that with your neighbor's things. Neighbor's things, or people. I don't know. Ah, yes. Covet the state in which you use it. Yep, that makes sense. Same. You just described most of my things. Like a KitchenAid, yeah. I wish I needed that KitchenAid right now. Great. Like a KitchenAid or 5 sewing machines. Shane? I'm not sure what that means. Ashamed to have it sitting there, not being used, but also it's necessary, yeah. So not like a sewing machine necessarily. Okay. We're almost done here. There's a lot of build-up around these grommets. So, and if we don't take care of this, this is going to transfer those laces a lot and make them a little sticky. So, it's just going to be better if we spend another minute making sure that these are all clear. Yeah, I think in the next couple of weeks, want some grommet? And this one wants some grommet. I haven't watched it in like 15 years. Good stuff. I bet it holds up extremely well. Okay. So I'm gonna hit these edges here once more that are just like really cracked. I'm just gonna like really get a bunch in there. Right in those spots. I really am a little concerned about them. Is Kirsten streaming tonight? No streams there? Okay. I think Golf is streaming. Oh yeah, it's Thursday, not Tuesday. Man. Days. Aren't they wild? Oh, I'm happy with that. Okay, so let's take a look at these. So here's they don't look any different really. One's just clean. But I've already snow sealed these before. But one thing you will notice is that, like, you know, especially in areas like this on this side, this is a lot smoother than it was a little while ago. And if we compare it to this one, we can see some more well-defined, like wrinkles, right, near the toe area. So what I would probably what I think I should probably do is, it might not be a bad idea to like stuff this with some newspaper or something, if I had any. Stuff in here. Well, anyway, so these are going to chill out, cool down a little bit. We're going to work on the next ones. Alright, got the laces out already. Ooh, this feels good to lean back in the chair. So tense. Take out those insoles. Remove rocks and stones. There's some lint in here. This is a really good, when we looked at getting these boots, this was one of the things we liked, was the way that this is connected here, that this tongue is connected. This is a really good indicator of some quality waterproof boots. But one thing I am seeing here that's not so good is, I don't know if we can see, there's a loose thread in here. Looks like some of the thread is come undone in the spot here. Maybe it's just loose from, it's like extra from when they stitched it. But I'm just kind of tugging on it, making sure it's not actually a problem. Seems to be okay. This one has, the toe issue is much worse, much more defined on this shoe. So I will be needing to make sure to fix those later. Get these a little warmed up. Kind of funny to forget that this is my hand in this boot, and then this is like a weird broken ankle. I don't know, it's funny to me. You can tell this has had snow seal on it already because this is looking wet when I heat it up. So I definitely, there's some leftover wax on this from last year. Warming these up ahead of time really makes a big difference. Yeah. Right. This music is almost too chill. I'm not sure what to think of it. Oh, I like it. Just makes what I'm doing seem a lot more like a cult or something. Spiritual, more of a spiritual activity, putting wax in these boots. do it anymore. Oh no, it doesn't work anymore. Tried to skip the song. Not burn my neck. Mouse. Where are you? Get out of here, song. We're switching to synthwave. That's what we're doing.
Heaven knows what I have become. Absent.
Okay. That's better. All right. That's better. Probably something I should ask another time, but I'm really curious what Vidya Kruger's thoughts are about the Cyberpunk game that's on today. Do you have any? Are you excited about it? Are you discouraged? Are there any potential issues that you see? Is it too early to call anything? The Cyberpunk game, Cyberpunk 2077. Just thinking about synthwave, you know, like you. Not touching it? Really? As in not touching this conversation right now, or are you not going to touch that game until it's well released? Not touching the game. Is it, did, what was it, Project Red? Project something? They're doing some weird labor stuff with their game crowd? Crunch and transphobic content completely out. No, I don't know anything about that. I'm like super out of touch with, all that. Anything about the game. I don't really know much about it. It's too bad. They did that. Yeah. It's funny, like, Crunch has been really bad, but the fans have been absolutely awful. Yeah. Bad. There's also just some really silly stuff involved with a huge corporation developing a Cyberpunk game. Like, there's a mode in the game you can turn on to disable in-game music, and that is prone to getting you DMCA'd on Twitch. Oh. Okay. No, okay, I understand that now. That is the least cyberpunk thing you can imagine. That's awkward. That's a good point. That's part of the game. Understanding of the content seems to be, if you replace your body with machines, you become less human. This is decided, and like that completely misses the point in general. Yeah? The point is like what makes it human, right? Like, even if something's completely a machine, what makes it a person? What makes it sentient? Seems more like a Fallout thought than anything. Not really true to Cyberpunk very much. Sorry to make you type all this out. Transhuman is such a huge part of cyberpunk fiction. Think of that completely for a cheap in-game mechanic. Feels like shades of Fallout 3 where you just said, he's a nuke. Do you use it? Here's a nuke, do you use it? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you've become a ghoul. Who cares? I wonder if we could ever do our Sprawl campaign. How that would be. I'm kind of feeling like a Beam Saber with some friends. It promises already being my Cyberpunk Game of the Year. I thought you were just misspelling Beat Saber. New hot in my car. Sorry we never really finished our Sprawl campaign. Kind of a shame, and probably a lot on me. It was a lot of fun though. Sorry I was so murderous in that. It was just maybe I am. It's having a great time though. Yeah, let's do it. Especially once the cold sets in. Tabletops are so nice in the winter. Not that I go outside. Yeah, I did. I realize that in real life I'm a lot more of a fixer than I imagined. I think the whole premise of a fixer was really fun. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Good game. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the classes. Very good job as usual. This red popped out? I think so. Maybe just extra. I might snip that stuff though. Alright, well, I've done a couple passes of these. Both these boots. I think they're looking pretty sharp. You know, really a lot of these areas that were really... This is still pretty wrinkly. I might try and stretch that out and force a little bit more snow seal in there, but in general, they're really doing a lot better. Sorry, I'm gonna stick a little bit more snow seal in there. That's where they got too dry and they moved too much in that spot. Well, hope you all had a nice evening. Super exciting stream, but you know what? It had to get done. We gotta get this stuff taken care of before it gets too cold and too salty. I'm fully complete with the Spark Fun kit at this point, so I have a new electronics kit I'm going to be working on. It is similar to the Spark Fun kit. It is another starter kit. I'm not going to be going through it sequentially though. I'm going to be going through it, picking and choosing various projects that just demo certain sensors and modules. So that one will be a little more in-depth. It will be more of me just picking and choosing things that I know I'm going to be using. So, and then from there, I'm going to be designing my hydroponics system once I get that ready to go. So, I'm going to be working on that this Sunday. Additionally, I have this keypad project. I still have a little bit more to do before I'm ready to start that project, but it is in the docket. Very excited. I was not expecting to do so much streaming of the electronic stuff. streaming not too long ago, so it's really cool to kind of get into that new hobby. And I feel like I've really added a useful thing to my skill set, a useful skill to my repertoire. So, and I would recommend that SparkFun starter kit a lot. It's a good experience. So as far as other prep for winter stuff goes, other crafting, I think I have I'm basically done with my main snow ceiling for this year. Basically just got those 2 pairs of boots, the last ones I showed these. And so I might be done with snow ceiling for a time. What's next though? I have some hatchet to sharpen. To sew some things, basically some zipper bags and some other carrying cases for my canvas tent. Oh, see, there's still some knives to sharpen, so maybe I'll do that next week. Maybe my next deal. No, I wish I had some black Meltonian polish. Using less shiny. I think I see some, but I believe it's brown polish, not black. Lots of stuff. This whole boot thing has been an ongoing hobby. So this is from a knife of mine. Some more mink oil. Don't really like that stuff. Here's just some black hand mink oil. Glue. Not the right sound. Not the right sound either. No Meltonian black. Shoot. Headphone is like tugging really bad. Minutes. So, I'm gonna jar of Meltonian. This is like a mustard brown, light brown. Don't care for it. Nothing good in here otherwise. Shoot. Well, there's a chance that one of these black polishes is decent yet. Yeah, I think this will actually work. I'm gonna put my gloves back on though. That's what I'm gonna do. I probably should take these laces back out. Well, let's see. And I just want to like do up just the noses of these. These just look so dull. I kind of wanted to get them to be a little shinier than this, so I'm gonna go for it. Once more. Yeah. This will also help fill in some of those cracks that I'm talking about today. Just get some more material in there. That's what they really want. Pushing out with my hands to kind of open those cracks up so that I can shove some polish in them. So this is like a kind of a stiff wax as I apply it. And so I'm going to be putting the shine on here, and then I'm going to buff it off with a brush, which I then... But you put it on here, you wait like 5 minutes or so, and then you gently brush it off with a coarse hairbrush. Never shined shoes before. It's good. This is just your normal black, but you can get Parade Black, which is even shinier. And it is quite satisfying to get a nice shade there, but it's like look right. I'll help a little bit with waterproof in this too. We're essentially just pressing in this like thick wax. So. Also, next year when I'm snow sanding these, I'll be like, is there a shoe shine on here? Shoe polish? Turning my cloth black. Because I forgot. Okay. It's back in. It's level 10. And now, glance around, see if I can find that shoe shine brush. Can't find one right now, and that's okay. You don't have to do a perfect job. Almost done with these boots. now that these have been sitting for just a minute, I'm just going to like slightly shine them, and just brush around them. Maybe that. I'm not trying to like scrape the stuff off, I'm just trying to buff it. Again, this is better to do with your horsehair brush, but I can't find mine right now. I don't really want to look that hard, if I'm being honest. This will do quite well for these, just to do a light polishing like this. Not working super good, but yeah, there's shined versus not shined. Let's shine this one up. Song. Really, probably should have just looked for my horsehair brush, because I'm getting a lint from this paper towel in here, but it's good. An actual cloth isn't bad here either. Do this buffing, because you don't have to worry as much about the fibers from the paper towel coming out. This has a lot to do with the snow seal that's probably left over in here too. Alright, cool. 2 shiny boots. Alright, I'm gonna relace, and then I think that'll be the end of the stream here. So, like I said, next week, not so sure about what it's gonna be, but I'll try and do something. Did I skip the long dark this week? I might have. Apologize if I did. This week is a bit of a blur, so it's hard to tell what was when. I have a commissioned project that I still have not worked on for a friend of mine. My friend Zach has requested a fancy apron for workshop projects. And not yet made that for him. So I think that's going to be one of my next big projects, but that kind of relies on being up in my studio and having like a totally different AV setup. So, thinking about picking up some cheapish webcams. Probably should have thought of this when it was Black Friday. Pick up some webcams and deck out my crafting studio with webcams. Won't be quite as high quality as Camera 1 here and Camera 1 and 2, but I can at least just do better work in that studio. I'm also going to make a couple of my everyday carry kind of pocket kits that I like to have. Make a few of those for the holidays, I think. Not sure who to give them to, but I have a couple on hand. Good gift in a pinch. Those. Well, here they are. Much better shape than they were when we started. We didn't glue up the toe yet, but I'm going to do that in our studio. That's more aligned. Once that is fixed, though, these are like really good to go. Right. Well, thank you so much, and we call that a night. Hope you all have a nice evening. I will be seeing you around some other day. So, have a good night.